we are walking creatives all the time.
Yes.
We just don't consider that to be creativity, but it is.
Welcome back to another episode. I am your host, and as always, I am so grateful to be with you here for another podcast. Today, we are talking about creative expression as the path to emotional resilience with my girl. Yes.
It's all feel good.
Feel good. So this sister right here I met because, and I may have shared this in a previous podcast, I had the blessing and opportunity to be a part of a fellowship called Mosaic Changemakers. Shout out to Mo South. And so the Mofos, right? I first met Tasneem on the interview. And immediately I felt that energy, that connected energy. And over the space of the next year, what I noticed is how Tasneem affirmed, helped me to like blossom and bring my voice out, invited my voice into the room constantly, and the ways in which I grew in the fellowship, but in her presence. And part of that is because of who she is. I love to say that Tasneem, her zone of genius, she is a master story weaver. She is an amazing creative soul and spirit. And that's why we are talking about this today. She's also the vice president of Mosaic Changemakers. And so I am so grateful to bring her into this conversation. Welcome, Tasneem.
Thank you, Maiysha. And to all those listening, Maiysha said it right. Our love affair, this sister love that we keep building, started on the computer. It started with ability for us to connect, even digitally. It was beautiful. I remember surprising you in Memphis. You were rounding the corner in the hotel we were at, and I said, Maiysha! And you were like, because you had been a name in my mind for months before we met. And I knew that this love and sister connection was going to be so real. Yes. And so just to see you in the flesh, I just gave you all my my giddy energy. And so here we are. We are still in the flow.
This is such a good thing. You know, as much as I love you, I want my audience to get to know you. So just share a little bit about you, yourself, who you are, how you've come to Mosaic Changemakers, and just anything you want to share to invite the audience in.
Absolutely. Thank you, Maiysha, for that invitation. I often think, probably several times a week, how I would describe where I am in the mode of Tasneem now. I think today, the mode of Tasneem is seeker. This is a discovery season for me, and also a reclamation of things that I know to be true in terms of what leaves me feeling lifted. And so the topic of creativity, number one.
Hey, before we get back to the episode, I want to take a moment to share something close to my heart. 17 years ago, someone saw my leadership before I could see it myself. That experience changed everything for me. And that's exactly why I created the Remap cohort. If you're a woman physician or leader in healthcare who's tired of being talked over, burned out from carrying conversations you don't have language for, or just craving a space where you don't have to explain being the only one in the room, this is for you. Remap is a 4-month cohort, a small, intimate community for women, physicians, and leaders in healthcare, where you'll build real communication skills and community, navigate the hard stuff, and yes, earn CME credit in the process. 22 Category 1 AMA CME to be exact. Listen, you deserve a space that pours into you, not one that continues to extract from you. Find out more, reserve your spot, or schedule a discovery call at mindremappingacademy.com. Also, the link is in the show notes.
Absolutely feeling as though operating in my creativity is what brings me the most joy. So I'm a seeker of creative expression and creative experiences, number one. But I also love to guide people toward experiences that help them to ask that question of themselves and to do it with enough regularity that it feels like a practice and it feels like a welcome practice. It's not work. It's like where am I now? And the now means because I can change and I'm going to morph and I'm going to flow. So a
Yes.
seeker, I'm a flow seeker. I think you and I both love guiding conversations, being in
Mhm.
conversation. I love
Mhm.
asking like questions that make even myself go, "Mm," and stay in that
Yes.
contemplative place. I really love that. And I also like listening to what I would call sort of the divine nudge to speak the inquiry. So it may come to me, I might be curious, but to
Yes.
put it into the room, to offer it to the circle, to say, what do we think about that? What is that awakening us? What gives us a kind of emotion, a feeling, a kind of humming beneath our skin? I love to do it.
Mhm.
I would say also for folks to know who I am the grateful mother of 4 daughters, and I have one bonus daughter, so 5 daughters altogether. And I'm the grateful mother of daughters who fascinate me. So I'll say that. I'm just
Mm.
amazed at their burgeoning womanhood. And so, yeah, I'm a daughter. I am a wife. I always say I'm a lover, a writer.
Mhm. Mhm.
And lately, I'm a person who's trying to have more fun. I'm just trying to
Yes.
have more fun.
That is so needed right now. I think that with everything that's going on in the world, sometimes we forget to play, especially when we're in the realm of what we're doing, like in this
Yeah.
realm of justice and
Hmm.
equity, and even bringing hope to
Yeah.
where hope is depleted. We're so focused on doing that that sometimes we forget to just like stop and have pure, unadulterated fun.
Absolutely. To call it into ourselves. And I make this distinction sometimes, Maiysha, between joy and fun.
Yes.
And so to me, joy can feel like a passive experience of delight.
Yes.
It can come upon you, you can
Hmm.
feel it, you can seek it, but
Yes.
you can also sit very quietly and enjoy it. But for
Hmm.
me, play and fun is an act of deliberation.
It is.
It is an active seeking of delight and then like a sitting in it, but you also keep it activated. And
Yes.
that's what I want to do. Like I might find it. It might be in laughter. It's in this conversation. This is
Yes.
right.
Yes.
And so it also allows me to have this sort of thrumming feeling throughout the rest of the day. Just
Mhm.
wasn't that
Mhm.
fun? So when I encounter, the mundane elements of living, I can remember this moment and go, "No, you did good, or you had fun." And
Yes.
mhm,
Yes. It's energizing.
it is energizing.
It's like a shot of matcha latte.
Yes, yes. And sometimes I think language wise, we think joy is more sophisticated and fun is more infantile, right? Like,
Right.
children have fun. I'm like, no, no,
Right.
no, 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 no.
No.
I plan to claim fun until
Mhm.
my final days.
Yes.
And
Mm.
whether I can get in that swing and actually trust it to hold my body weight,
Yes.
whether I can hop on a paddleboard and actually try to do the thing that I haven't really done well, I
Mhm.
believe you. It is energizing and it is energy itself. And
Yes.
so a life gift.
And in that way, I think fun actually could be more sophisticated because it takes a particular intentionality to diversify the ways that you have fun, to
Yes,
inquire about what fun looks like at any given time, to,
absolutely.
to reach for fun in the mundane moments.
Yes,
Like
yes.
it actually can be the more sophisticated route.
I love it. I'm there with you. Yeah, we had fun. We had a good time. It was fun.
Yes. And that's
Majority
one of the
did.
things I loved about the fellowship is
Mm,
that when we dove deep, we could dive deep in conversations. There was
mhm.
always an element of fun and laughter
Uh,
inside of that, even through tears.
yeah.
And you all were so amazing at incorporating those fun moments,
Mhm.
breaking it up even into like movie moments. To me, movies are fun, even when they're about hard things or things that I didn't even know about, like documentaries that are like
Yes,
inspiring and empowering things.
yes,
But
yes,
like
yes.
bringing in those moments of fun, the snacks, the
Mm.
after hours karaoke,
She
the
with the snack.
spades games, like all the things, the zip,
Oh,
zap, zop,
yes, 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 yes,
the,
yes. That is shout out to Christian Hardy, our mode director of play, and Renata
yes,
Soto for hearing. She and
yes.
I heard from fellows. This is great feedback. That we're talking about heavy things. How do we also believe that lightheartedness is revolutionary too? That we don't have to sit in the mud. That the mud can be fun. We know bouncing, jumping in puddles, mud puddles is
Yes,
fun. And so,
yes,
yeah, I love that. Thank you for reminding me that that works. That kind of balances out the work we came to do, which is,
yeah.
talk about big topics and imagine these everlasting coalitions. But we
Yeah.
also want to talk about the karaoke and the spades and the snacks.
Yeah.
That counts. That counts.
Absolutely. And the neuroscience of it is there because we
Mm,
know that fun helps to regulate cortisol, helps to
that's
keep
right.
cortisol low. When we're talking about these big topics, when we're
Mm,
in the world, we're in the container, but we're still kind of worried about the world out here, that stress raises the cortisol. But when we regularly incorporate fun and
mm,
play
ah,
intentionally, that
absolutely.
actually resets the cortisol. And so
Absolutely.
neurologically speaking, that helps us to really like regulate ourselves. Therein lies the blessings of creative expression as a
There it
path to
is.
resilience, you know?
There it is. I absolutely agree. And Maiysha, I've done a thing, and I'm very excited to share about it because
Please.
this is where I know for a fact creativity builds
Mhm.
emotional resilience. I signed up for a writing class. And I'm a person
Ooh.
who grew up writing, grew up journaling, probably somewhere have my journal from when I was 13 with the little key.
Yes.
And I knew, speaking of sophistication, that as we become women, we're journaling now, we're documenting our lives. And
Yes.
extending from this childhood want to record feelings, we become documentarians.
Mhm.
But where I see it now is we become creators. And
Mhm.
something about intentional creative practice has
Mhm.
brought me a kind of bliss that
Oof.
helps me recognize two things. One, it is nobody's job but my own. That
Yes.
me and that paper and pen, pencil, whatever I'm doing, even if I'm typing it, those words, just to get the words down, the sensation of the writing, the
Mhm.
cadence of the sentence, the word
Mhm.
selection
Mhm.
becomes such a personal practice. I then get to take the responsibility for my own emotional resilience off of other people. So I
Ooh.
don't have to say, and I'm not rocked by emotional instability because
Yes.
now I'm resilient.
Yes.
So every Tuesday night for the past 5 weeks, I've been meeting with 6 women for 3 hours. And
Woo!
I have to creatively negotiate time to figure out who's going to take care of the daughters, right? So this one's a
Yes.
senior, this one's in high school, this
Mhm.
all those things. And I've called upon people and they come through.
Yes.
I pick up 2 girls. I go home. I have 45 minutes to spare. I refresh my oils. I get myself together. And then when I sit down in that space where the only thing we have to tend to is our creativity,
Mhm.
it is it. We don't even have snacks. I mean, occasionally we
Mm.
bring something, but we are the snack because what's
Yes.
delicious is time set aside to
Yes.
just be creative. And for us,
Mhm.
the creativity is autobiographical. So, how do
Mm.
you go in your mind and respond to these prompts that
Mhm.
make you think about expressing both memory and aspiration? And to
Mm.
do it in a creative way. It could be a list, it could be a poem, it could be an essay, it could
Mhm.
be a memoir style, I don't know, prose.
Yes.
You can feel in the room, and there's tears and there's laughter.
Mhm.
And we all admit after every single week that we are able to re enter into our lives outside of that space
Yeah.
with our spine straight.
Ooh.
Part of it, I think, is the vulnerability that comes from the writing that is autobiographical. I
Yeah.
think it is in the risk taking because we
Mhm.
are an intergenerational and intercultural group. So,
Mm.
like,
Ooh.
how much of myself am I going to share in this space, right? But we're all female identifying people. We are all folks who are interested in ourselves. So
Mhm.
it's a place also to kind of luxuriate in a beautiful kind of self concern where, you're like, all this language around, is that selfish? No.
No.
In a creative space, selfishness and self fullness, that is the canvas for everything.
I love that.
In fact, we're like, I statements. We're not talking about other people. What about you? I know you wrote about your mama, but what about you? I know you
Yeah.
wrote about that marriage or parenthood or the divorce or the abandonment. Yes, those are other people, but where were
Yes.
you in it?
Yes.
And for those of us who are so used to having our lenses faced outward and
Mm.
kind of diagnosing and
Yes.
coaching other people through a kind
Yes.
of self regard, I tell you, sis, for 3 hours a week, an investment of 3 hours earns me, I'm going to say, 7 days of
Mm.
emotional resilience.
Wow.
Look at that math.
That's some good stuff right there.
And it has nothing to do with anyone else.
Yeah.
Yes, we get the validation from the listening that happens in the
Mhm.
circle,
Mhm.
but it's because we decided to creatively pursue our own freedom, to creatively pursue it.
I love that. But you said so many things. The thing that I'm hanging on to right now in this moment is this piece of the I statement about you. So, one thing I haven't shared publicly is that I'm writing a book. Yes. And this book is about being in right relationship at multiple levels, right? And so, as a piece to that, a lot of what I'm doing is weaving my own story in.
Yes.
And what's been interesting is I find myself getting sick of writing about myself.
Mhm.
And it's not like getting sick of like I'm getting sick, but it's like
Yeah.
from the reader perspective, but in my own mind, it's like, oh, am I writing too much about me? I need
Mm.
to start writing, I need to start incorporating the world and other things and other people. And what I recognize is that this is something that showed up in my first TEDx talk where my TEDx coach was like, oh, we need more of you in the story. And I tried. But when I
Yeah.
listened to, in comparison to the one that I just did, there was really none of me except for to
Mm.
introduce who I am and what I do. But in this last one, the whole thing was about me. And of
And
course,
how did that feel? How did that feel different?
it was challenging at first
Mhm.
because I just was like, people gonna get this? Like, I don't want to make this talk about me. This talk is about repair. But then what I realized is, and with the help of one of my coaches, is that people will see themselves through my eyes and through my experience. And that's what makes the actual teaching and framework and tools richer. So that was really interesting. But coming back to the book, it's like when you say just for me, like this writing feels like that for me. It's going to be for publication, but it feels like as I'm writing, like, oh, I am like telling my story, recounting things, remembering the lessons, like being regrounded inside of the learnings, seeing the personal connections to the learnings to my journey. And so, what you just did for me in that moment really gave me the freedom because I was actually contemplating this earlier this morning, gave me the freedom to be able to tell my story throughout the book and trust and have faith that it will connect to the later themes that are more like community, organization, society, world,
Yeah.
right? In terms of the right relationship. So I just thank you for that because it was such
Oh,
a gift, right?
my, I got to tell you, and I want you to hear me fully as a person who has written for joy and for resources. As a reader for joy and for resources, my I and my spirit goes immediately to the I pronoun in any writing. It is what allows me to care more about you and me if I get a sense of Maiysha in the work. If you just give me theory and ideology, I'm like,
Mhm.
this is nice. And because I exist, I'm imagining legions
Yeah,
also feel this same thing, a
yeah,
deep attraction to, but where are you in here?
yeah.
This is great. And because I love story and I want to know
Mhm,
yours. And so if I'm
mhm.
picking up someone's book, I'm anxious to hear about who Maiysha is in the book. I know she's brilliant. That's a given. But who is she? And so I think it's interesting too, and I don't know where we picked it up, that there's a slight kind of hesitation as though we're too full of ourselves or something. If it's like,
Mhm.
if someone be like, oh, she's doing talking about herself. And I'm
Yeah.
reading it going, oh, she's talking about herself. Because if you see you, then I can see me because I'm looking for the me in you. I'm like, I wonder what she's going to tell me about her life that then validates something I'm feeling.
Yeah.
And so if you just give me ideas and strategy, it's not hitting me here. It's going to
Yeah.
hit me here. And I
Yeah.
thank you. That's great. But I want to pick up a book in my spare time because you're
Mhm.
going to move me. And
Mhm.
there's no better way to say, come along. I'm going to take you on this little path back into some of the
Mhm.
things I experienced. I
Mhm.
want you to just have fun saying, I'm going to tell you about me.
Yes, and you know what? It has been fun. Like as you talked about your writing class and how you're just drawn in and like that 3 hours, like how that gives you that emotional resilience. Even though I'm writing for something different, like it is, I am so drawn in. I love this writing. And I'm using a little bit of what I've learned in Mosaic, particularly around like bringing in some biomimicry and like some metaphor around the body and some metaphor around nature and trees. And it's been like so fun to weave that into like my own learning and like
Yes.
my own, like comparing my own learnings to the roots and the soil and and the gardening, because your girl's been gardening. That's been my playtime. That's my
Yeah, that's your fun.
that's my fun.
Yes, yes,
And going out
yes,
talking to the plants, you know what I'm saying?
yes,
I think that's
absolutely.
just so beautiful.
Me too.
One thing that I would love for us to talk about is when how people sometimes have the belief or speak the belief, oh, I'm not creative in that way.
I love that. I remember that. We hear that. We might have even said that about certain forms of creativity.
Right.
I think it's fine to give ourselves permission to expand what we consider creativity to be.
Yes.
Right? I think we have it somewhat in a box. I think that if we think about the difference between going for a run or going for a stroll, I think of creativity like strolling. It's like ambling. Let me see what these hands can do. It's like maybe structure, but not a whole bunch of boundaries and rules. So it can have structure and all that. But I think there is a part of creativity that we get to ask to come forth. And so when we say, I'm not good at it like that, I don't know that we've asked yet ourselves. So I haven't studied a whole bunch of painting, but I know if I'm going to step up to a blank canvas, my first thought is like, I am a little hesitant. I'm a little self-critical.
Yes.
But if I say to myself, I don't know, is there a painter in you, girl? And my other self goes, well, let's see. So that part of like discovery and experimenting, I would assign that to creativity. So you would never say, I'm not good at trying new things necessarily. That refrain only lasts as long as you just stay still.
Right.
So as soon as you do anything, you're trying something new. And so permission to expand what creativity means, to ask yourself, maybe there is that thing inside me that I just don't know yet.
Yes.
I think also getting with some folks who love to try new things is a way to invite more creativity. And together you can sit and go, you sure you want to try this hang gliding? Girl, I do the right? Like sometimes you need that nudge that we get when we're in collective action and community work, because we do have that hesitation. And we are in a culture that certainly highlights people to the point of perfection, right? So we only think of, you can sing, it has to sound like Mariah Carey or Whitney Houston. No, we can make a joyful noise.
That's right.
That's right. Every piece of crafted clay doesn't have to look like the most amazing sculpture ever, right? That's why we call things abstract. So I think giving us permission to say we're not going for perfection.
That's right.
I've been thinking of the sound that children make when they're playing, when they go, wee. And I think if we get to that moment where you're like, I don't know if I'm good at that, and think, what would it take for me to think, wee? Right at the moment of like, I don't really know how to do charcoal drawings.
Right.
Well, let's try that.
Wee.
And somebody's like, that looked like something. Like, I know, right? Like, I just wanted it. And that, I think perfectionism comes into it and cuts right into the creativity. Oof. I do.
You spoke a word on that, because I was just thinking about this whole, when you said it, as I was thinking, maybe it's the perfectionism that we get so attached to it looking like, and I think also it's like comparison. That comparison is like the enemy of creativity and fulfillment and joy.
It is true. It is true. And I think too, if I'm engaging in something creative that I haven't done before, I give myself permission to, in some ways, pull a little Erykah Badu out, right? Like, keep in mind, I'm an artist, right? There's that part. But I think I also give myself permission to say, good for you, girl. You're trying something out. And like to call it adventure. Because adventure means like, I don't really know where this path will end me or how I'll feel, but I know I'm still pursuing it. I'm strolling. I'm strolling. It's just a stroll.
Yeah.
Nobody counts the mileage in the minutes when you're strolling. Nobody says like, how fast is your stroll?
That's right.
Nobody says that. But if we start talking about running a marathon, it's like, what's your race per mile? We start comparing.
Right.
But a stroll,
It's just a stroll.
It's just a stroll. Whether you're in a wheelchair or a walk or whatever, it's just moving along mindlessly. You're ambling. Let's see what this clay can do. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. And so it seems to me that what's required of us to really allow ourselves into creative expression is the letting go.
Oh,
It's the
that is right.
letting go. Yeah. I too, I used to proclaim myself as
Mm.
not a painter. Right. And then I was invited, and I would totally avoid paint and sips. I have a girlfriend
Oh,
who would just be doing these paint and sips, and I'd be like, when you have a party where we're
yeah,
dancing, invite me to
yeah,
that. But I am not a painter, nor do I sip.
yeah.
So, so what am I gonna do?
Right,
Right.
right,
But then my neighbor invited me to this Toastmasters paint and poetry, and me and my neighbor were
right.
trying to get together for a while. So I said, okay. I'm just gonna like do the poetry part because that's a form of expression that I'm familiar with.
Yeah,
I don't know that I'm gonna paint. We'll
yeah,
see. But I
yes,
walk
yeah,
into the room
yeah.
and it really is a paint with a side of poetry. So they set me up with the canvas and I was like, well, we're gonna see what happens.
Yes, we're
And
going to see what happens.
see what happens. It's an adventure. We don't know how it's gonna turn out, but we're gonna see what happens.
That's right.
And what I found is when I immersed myself into the moment, I didn't realize how therapeutic painting could be. Just like I didn't realize how therapeutic gardening can be.
Yes,
Right?
yes, yes,
Right.
yes, yes.
And my end product, I was very impressed. I was like, you did that. I mean, you did some color, some smudges outside. I wasn't even caring about that. I just gave
Right.
myself permission for it to be imperfect.
Yes, yes.
But I have that thing hung up on the wall in my bedroom now.
Yes, you
You
do.
know?
And that painter self was in there,
Exactly.
hiding right behind the self-critical self.
Exactly. And the painting is now a reminder of what I now enjoy that I didn't think that I could do.
Yep. What I now enjoy that I didn't think that I could do.
Mhm.
And I bet when you look at it on your wall, that is what you remember.
Yes.
It's not the strokes, it's not the colors, I mean, perhaps, but it's also the reminder that I didn't think I could do it.
Right.
Check
That
me
part.
out.
That part.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I'm seeking out like, oh, how can I? We did a paint and music for New Year's Eve. And that was super fun. Sat and listened to me and a girlfriend, like same girlfriend who used to invite me to all the paint sips. I said, come on over now. You can, I'm gonna let you host this
She
paint.
didn't give up.
Right. I said, come on over. So now it's a part of my lexicon. Like I know I'm not perfect and I don't want to be, but I know I can create beauty in the way that I see the beauty. And I know that sometimes that won't be so beautiful.
But like, since you said something earlier about something you made up. Like, I made it up. Everybody's making shit up.
We're all making it up.
Who's not?
Mm-hmm.
I think about like things about anxiety. I think about Stevie Wonder saying he still gets nervous. I'm like, ooh.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking about like him on that harmonica for the first time. I don't know that it sounded like a melody,
Mm-hmm.
but I think to his ears, and I think sometimes it's enough to say, this ain't for everybody. This is for me. This is for my wall.
Mm-hmm.
This poetry is for my ears.
Mm-hmm.
But we do sometimes imagine that it has to be mass produced and made commercial for things to feel like art, right? Like, is it really good? Would you buy it? People say that. Well, would you buy it? Like, maybe it's not for purchase.
It's not for purchase.
Maybe it's for the purpose of me being reminded that I made something.
That's right.
If we take like, is this good for the gram? Do I have to put this on Facebook? Do I need to be able to sell this in a boutique? If you take all of that out, will anyone else want to eat it? Is this really that delicious? And just go, do I like it? Or have I enjoyed the experience?
Mm-hmm.
Then that opens up new doors of being able to, I think, interpret the act of creativity. Because you're not doing it for anything other than just creating.
Yes.
And delighting yourself and maybe surprising yourself too.
Listen, improving life.
Oh, write it down. It is for you.
Life.
That's why we like karaoke, because nobody expects you to get up there and sound like anything but you.
In fact, the opposite. It's more fun when you don't.
You're like, I'm gonna struggle on this note, y'all, and everybody sings it with you, right?
That's right.
Imagine if, and I think we are driven by this idea of making everything commercial and professional, and it can take the joy out of it.
Yeah.
It's like, you did such a good job, Maiysha. You think you can do 20 of these and we can sell them somewhere? Like,
No.
That wasn't why I did it. But even that, like that exercise of going from, I don't know if I'm good at this, to, wow, I did that, emotional resilience.
Yes.
Tell me something else I may not be good at and watch me do that thing.
And do that thing. Yes.
Mhm. In
Yes.
my own way. So maybe if even in our storytelling, we talk more about the pursuit of creating this bountiful garden and less about, look at all that I harvested.
Yes.
That, right? We talked about like going in and going, oh God, it's a canvas, I'm not really sure how to do this. And less about like, look at this beautiful display of all my work. Because that the performance of it is not the point, but the pursuit of it is.
Yes.
And uncertainty is in all of it. You really don't know if that seed's going to give you kale, or it might have get mixed up and you got some Swiss chard. You don't know. You can't tell. It's pretty.
Right. Right.
But like the point is like the hands in the soil. Right? It's the fight to make sure those possums don't get everything out of that garden. Ma'am.
The netting. The net. I've had to put the
Mine went under the net. The raccoons went under. And do you know now that collard green has reseeded itself? I left it alone.
Oh, wow. That's what I'm talking
And
about.
I think that's some natural creativity.
Yes.
Right? Like, you know what? Stop watching me. Let me work. Let me see what we're going to do.
Girl.
And so same thing. I don't know what this painting going to be. And I have to believe that the greats, right? The people that we put in museums also work through those moments of like uncertainty is part of the, I don't know what this is going to look like.
Yeah.
But it's going to be something.
And most likely the things that they least thought would take them somewhere were the things that we all remember.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that does not get put in how we tell the story sometimes. We don't talk about like, well, that wasn't even my best draft of that. Okay. We don't. We go right to finished product and making sure it looks polished, and we miss all of this beautiful stuff in the middle.
That's right.
That's the invitation for us to be creative and therefore emotional resilient.
That's right. So I want to riff for a moment. Let's just start naming all the ways that people can creatively express. We've talked about painting, we talked about writing. Like, what are all the ways? I'm going to say, because you mentioned it earlier, cooking.
Absolutely. With recipe or not.
With recipe or not. Creative cooking sometimes is by taste or by imagination.
Or by imagination.
The way you intended or not. And sometimes better. And sometimes we're throwing you down the drain.
Absolutely. I think fashion.
Ooh.
I think like I have given myself permission to wear things that back at 7th grade Tasneem would have been like, that don't match.
Yes.
That shade of red or that shade of brown is not. And now I'm saying to myself, oh, but it's beautiful. And that's the point. I would say fashion is creativity for sure.
I absolutely. And right along the same veins is makeup and hair is creativity. Girl, let me tell you, when I was going to do my TEDx that morning, I went to the makeup artist.
Yeah.
When the way she was focused in what she was doing, I was like, I was like, you a whole artist. She had me, as the kids say, she had me beat.
Girl, you had to the gods. You was beat all the way.
I was like, girl, if it wasn't for my germophobia, I would go to sleep in this and wear it for a couple of days. But I can't lay on a pillow with makeup on my face.
You can't do it. You can't
clog
do it.
my pores. My skin is too good.
No, come on, dermatology.
Right. Like, that's not good for my skin. But like, I think that is, people like underestimate the level of artistry and creativity it takes to put makeup on in a way that complements each individual's face. Hey, before we get back to the episode, I want to take a moment to share something close to my heart. 17 years ago, someone saw my leadership before I could see it myself. That experience changed everything for me. And that's exactly why I created the Remap cohort. If you're a woman physician or leader in healthcare who's tired of being talked over, burned out from carrying conversations you don't have language for, or just craving a space where you don't have to explain being the only one in the room, this is for you. Remap is a 4-month cohort, a small, intimate community for women, physicians, and leaders in healthcare, where you'll build real communication skills and community, navigate the hard stuff, and yes, earn CME credit in the process. 22 Category 1 AMA CME to be exact. Listen, you deserve a space that pours into you, not one that continues to extract from you. Find out more, reserve your spot, or schedule a discovery call at mindremappingacademy.com. Also, the link is in the show notes. I'm good for a 2-minute face, and I say I do a darn good job with that. But this sister right here.
Absolutely. Agreed. Can I throw another one out there? First of all, let's shout out the fact that we are now 2 TEDx's in. Just want to put that in there. I think language.
Yes.
I think the moment, and you and I have it, and we do it all the time, the moment when you meet somebody and you have a home speak, a language that is reserved for those who make your heart beat a little faster, and you meet that person, and just one word, sis, one word, and you go, girl, and you keep it going till it's like a trill.
Yes.
That is creative. Yes. Or like the way that we dap them up, or we go, like, what is that? All of the way we have fun with the language, right?
Yes.
It is. I was doing AI. I had asked AI a question. Me and my girls were playing around with AI, and I was like, let's just play with AI. And I was using Claude. I said, let's ask him to reframe this response in Black English. And my daughters are like, what? And girl, do you know Claude was like, Claude said, boom. I said, what? Claude. And in that moment, we went from like interrogating AI and its uses and its abuses to like having fun.
Yes.
And we started playing around with it. It became like creative, and our language becomes creative. And I tease the girls, like you just said, my face is beat, or little things that we do. There's a whole scene in something I watched, Sheet of People on Netflix, right?
Oh,
Total. Yes. And do you remember that scene where they didn't speak? All they did was,
yep. Yes.
And that in itself was a language.
Yes.
So if Delson says, can I go in the bathroom? And you like, he knows that means no. Exactly. I love how we teach it. I love how we play with movement and language. I love how even gestures and utterances become a whole language unto themselves. And I don't know nobody, I'm sure in other places they will proclaim this, but I don't know nobody don't do it like African people. The way we take up.
Yeah, right. All right.
You can be in Jamaica, you can be in Ecuador, you can be in Ghana or Harlem or Atlanta. Black people all have these little.
I know you didn't.
My 15-year-old, I asked her a question. She goes, I'm like, stop being smart. And she's like, I didn't say anything. I'm like, yes, you did. You said, the way you said, no.
The way you said,
You said it. The way you have your lips, my, the way you just like,
side eye.
How do we learn that?
Side eye,
This is proof that if someone says I'm not creative like that, we are walking creatives all the time. Yes. We just don't consider that to be creativity. But it is. It's when you bring nuance to a thing, when you add a little, little zhuzh, right? Yes. It's that extra dash of hot sauce on top of the deviled eggs. Who put hot sauce on the deviled eggs? Who do that?
Somebody
creative.
Right.
Somebody do. And so all of that playing and just like, how do I put my own spin on it? Yeah. Creative.
Yes.
And maybe we won't say, well, those people are creative. So, they do it because they're creative. No, you too. You're breathing and therefore you're doing it. A reframe leaves us all feeling, I think, very capable. Putting a little shine or a little twist on something. And like, okay. I thought I was an accountant, but clearly I'm a creative. Right?
Yes, you are a numerical creative.
Boom, boom, boom.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I want to go one more in there because I my sister, she's a creative like this, and that is interior designing spaces. Because I can say that I am not great at that. I rely on some people for that, right?
Yeah,
I mean, color coordination.
Absolutely.
But like, I think that's a gift too.
Oh my God, absolutely.
Work with spaces, whether they're whole houses, whether they're little tiny spaces. Absolutely. I think that is just magical to see people do.
And it's like they see something in a blank room that other people do not see in that same way.
Yes.
And I like to just sit back and go, let them work. I'm just like, whoa. I absolutely agree with you. Where to put that painting, how high to put it. There's a science to it for some folks, but it's also a soul to it.
It is. Yes, a feeling.
Yeah, it's a feeling.
Feng shui.
Boom. Yep,
Yes.
absolutely. And you walk into that room feeling like, oh, the placement of flowers, where to
Yes.
put the mirror, right?
Mm.
What color accent? Your house has a lot of beautiful accent walls and colors. What is that color
Mm.
going to make me feel like? Yeah, people are
Yeah.
gifted. They got that gift.
They be doing that. They be doing
Yeah.
it.
I
Yeah.
share that.
I think there's so many things we could go on, but I wanted to demonstrate for the audience. Like
Mhm.
we just went through a whole list. I had one of my TEDx cohorts on who she does design thinking, and the way she described what she does, I was like, oh, that in and of itself is a creative
Creativity.
process.
That's
Like
right.
I envision the movie A Beautiful Mind, the part of the movie where there's like all the numbers like floating across, and like Russell Crowe's like seeing all the things, and it's like seeing the puzzle in
Yes.
on a screen that doesn't
Yeah.
exist, right? But still it's there,
Yeah.
like A Beautiful Mind. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that's a level of creativity. And I just want the audience to take away whatever you're going to take away, but also to take away that there are so many creative avenues that you haven't even considered inside of yourself.
Absolutely. And I think creative avenues that you're already walking down
That
that you
part.
don't consider to be creative
That part.
because they feel natural to you, because you think creativity has to feel uncomfortable.
That's right.
But I think we are natural creatives. We can give
Mhm.
ourselves permission to admit it and to
Yes.
pull more into us. Every
Mhm.
time we look at young girls with their edges swooped, that's
Yes.
creative. People with their
Yes.
nails, Flojo nails, and
Oh, yes.
that's creative.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
When you style your
Yes.
jeans a certain way.
Wear two different color socks on purpose.
The colors.
No different colors, right?
Creative.
Or on accident.
Right? Yeah. I mean, it's how some of the greatest inventions were discovered because somebody knocked something into something else, and it's like, oh, that was a happy mistake.
Right.
Creative. But yeah, I think that's it, sis. There are avenues you can walk down that you hadn't considered, and there's avenues you already walked down that you haven't described as creative.
That's right.
And so I would hope people leave this conversation feeling like, yes, this is how I build my emotional resilience, but it's also how I expand my own identity, that I too create things.
Yes.
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do. And the next time you choose to go on a journey of creative expression, just notice in the moments how you're feeling, the different emotions that come up as you move through it, all of them. And then notice how you feel afterwards for the next few days, because you said something in the beginning that I think is so poignant. That 3 hours of painting was worth 7 days of emotional resilience. 7 days. And imagine if you take an hour a day.
Oh,
how you're filling your tank, right?
That's
So
good.
The
That's
tank
good. An
doesn't,
hour
it's
a
like,
day.
yeah, an hour a day. So the tank never fully empties. Like, maybe there are moments when things get crazy, but that means you got the reserve, because every day you're filling your tank, you're topping it off. So then when things happen, and like maybe I can't get out in the garden every single day, or maybe I have to take a week off from practice. Like I was traveling last week, had to take a week off of practice, but I was full enough. That was good for me. And then I came back, and this week I've been back in the garden and topping off.
That's right. I like that, topping off. I love that. What do you think, Maiysha, of little reminders to ourselves, a quick way to access that thing that might regulate us? So sometimes I always have yarn somewhere and my crochet hooks, and you will see me just quietly working on a granny square. And while it looks like I'm working on a granny square for a larger project, which I am, I'm also going,
yes,
because I know that's what it does for me. I think some of us use podcasts, music, travel, right? A trip to California, reset you. Top off and a reset.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
it does all that. An hour a day, what that would do. I think the people around us might notice. It's both for us and for them. It's like,
Yes,
you've been kind of chill lately. What's what you've been doing? Like taking care of me. Taking care of you.
You know what? To your question, for myself, I actually, for me, I'm a structure girl, right? So I put moments in my calendar, block them. I block the calendar. And so when I'm blocked, when that calendar is blocked, like I know midday around 12:30 is like around the time that I meditate. I do sitting meditation, maybe 15 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. It just depends, right? I know that from, I stop my calendar at 3 because I go to get my son. But then, like, even in that time between when I get home and I do my hour of admin, I walk outside into the garden, right?
Yeah.
So then at 5 o'clock, because I don't really cook till closer to 5:36, I'm like, this is the time. Go out, walk around. And then, like I very intentional, and then my son will keep me accountable to this, is if we end dinner by a certain time, that means we have 20 minutes to play a game. Lately, it's been Battleship.
I love it. You like
it's fun. He loves it. He doesn't like to lose, but he definitely likes Battleship.
Yes, he loves Battleship. I love that. You
really
schedule
about,
it in.
Yeah, I think it's really about knowing what works for you individually. Like for me, what works is putting it on the schedule. It's like, all right, block this time for this. At this time, this is the time. But for you, it's like having the yawn around. Like for somebody else, it may be, okay, music comes on at a certain time, right?
Same. And using biomimicry, that is exactly right. Like things operate in seasons and cycles.
That's right.
That we know, everything turns toward the sun. Everything wants energy from the sun. Whatever that light is for you, if it is Battleship or crochet or making a great new meal creatively, that's light. And we're turning toward that. So we feel like we need something. Yeah. I think that being able to schedule it is the same way that the way the earth is scheduled.
Yeah.
That after 12 hours, this happens.
Yes.
And so we use words like whimsy and like, some people just want to willy-nilly and all that, but we're still operating in a schedule.
Right.
And so I love that you said you're a structure girl. I think maybe we all are.
Yes.
Because that every Tuesday at 6 o'clock, we leave at 9. Structure.
Structure. Yeah.
Structure. What the carrying of the yarn, and if it's for some people, it's the fidget things, right? That makes them feel like they're relaxed and all that. But I think that allows for accessibility because I have to wait till the next Tuesday pop up.
Right.
But I don't want to wait.
Right.
And so I love how you have salted your day with all these little moments, right? I do my sitting meditation. And then after that, I take a walk. I go to the garden. If we finish early enough, I do that. You have resources in your pocket that you can reach for that are accessible.
Yeah.
I would love it if the people we love and the ones we're learning to love think about that. Like once you know that something works for you, it's not helter-skelter willy-nilly. Put it down. That works.
Protect the time.
Right. A sip of hot tea after dinner.
That's it. Routine. Yeah.
Watching House Hunters.
Yes.
Whatever it is.
Yes. I call it structured freedom because in that time,
freedom. That's nice.
It's like scheduled freedom, right? You're on a schedule, but in that time, you're free to be.
Absolutely.
Right? And when you give yourself that structure, when you give yourself that schedule, when you allow for it, accountability, right? Then that's the time to be free.
Absolutely.
You could be free willy-nilly when, random time pops up, but when you have a schedule like we have schedules, when we being big in the world, right? You facilitating weeks and, we traveling to Cali and I got a son, you got 5 girls and, you got a husband and a mom and you doing all the things. We got to schedule that joker.
We do. And the earth too is scheduled.
That's right.
This is not a sign of us being anxious or unsettled. Right. This is a sign of us being wise enough to know all things in season and all things in time. So I read somewhere too, I want to add a word because I'm hearing schedule and structure and routine. And another word that I think helps with this is ritual.
Ritual.
So if we are ritually creative, this is the time when I light my incense. And I sit myself down.
Yes.
And I choose my meditation music.
Yes.
And I allow myself to unwind.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
The ritual you're creating with Delson is if we finish dinner with 20 minutes, we sit down and we play.
Right. I love that.
I go in my garden. Like all of that is, and to raise, I think, some of the things to the height of ritual also makes us feel like we're using our time well. Because we'll be like, a coloring book, that's for children. Okay, but what it is taking time out,
Yep.
creating structure, giving ourselves
Yep.
scheduled freedom.
Mm-hmm.
And that then it becomes a ritual. I take my
That's
book
right.
out. I sharpen my crayon. I put
Mm-hmm.
it on. However you do it, right?
Yes.
But I've ritualized it and I've elevated it to, I don't know, something that feels sacred
Yes.
and not something that feels, I think for some people, creativity can feel like it's wasteful.
Yes. Well, that's inside of the, there's a whole nother conversation around that. That's inside of a whole conversation for oppression.
Yeah.
Yes.
We don't got time to play. Who got time to play?
That's
I
right.
ain't playing with you. Yeah. Don't play with me.
In the world of consumption, right?
Yes. Yeah. That's just like, am I going to get paid for it? Maybe not in dollars.
Mental well-being and spiritual connection and investment in physical health as well. I mean, the science is there. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole, but the science is there, right?
And for those who need it to be like something proven and there's data, like, okay, don't believe me, look at the science.
That's right.
Look at the cortisol levels. Look at how you slept well that night.
Mm-hmm.
And then look at what you created that's on your wall as a reminder of all you're capable of.
That's right.
Okay, if you need science, science is there. But if you also just want to check in with how you feel, like you said, how does your body feel when you start?
Because that's data too. That's data too. That's science too.
Sis, I'm telling you, I will go home after the writing class and every gripe or annoyance I might have had earlier or might have later, I soothe it with the fact that I have taken care of me.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay. And it's not that I don't notice those things. It's not that they stop being annoying. It's that they stop taking over all my processes and the way I consider whether I'm loved, tended to, nurtured, soothed, all those things. I've already done it for me. So now it's like, we good.
Yep.
So emotional resilience, yes. Add love, joy, and fun to that too. Yes.
That's right. Because they're like intertwined and they feed into one another. So yes, symbiotic.
Symbiotic. This one.
Yes. Symbiotic. Oh my gosh. This has been such a juicy, delicious, fun, creative,
all the way,
restorative conversation.
Yes, all of it. I mean, we've done gestures and words. We've talked about painting, but all of it creative.
Yes, we have demonstrated it. We have not only spoken.
Somebody's idea. We've demonstrated it. This was somebody's wild idea right here. A podcast using StreamYard was somebody's wild idea.
That's right.
Someone like, I don't know. What do y'all think of this idea of like using an app to somebody? And here we
talk
are.
About stuff that other people can relate to.
Yes, I say it counts. I'm like, okay,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Good job, podcast creator, whoever you are.
Thank you. Big love.
Big love.
We see you.
I think that we have so many more conversations to have, and I can't wait to have them both online and offline. And in the meantime, I would love for our audience to know how they can continue to hear you, follow you, listen you, interact with you, if that is something that they want to do.
Awesome. This is funnily enough. And I have, I think, a couple seasons of a podcast called Truth Be Told, and it's wherever podcasts are.
Yes.
And it's where myself and my co-host, Andrea Blackman, ask these kinds of questions. It's like, who are we creatively? Who are we to be creative?
Yes.
What do we do in pursuit of freedom?
Yes.
What is true about that? And how many truths do we get to encounter and claim and dismiss? And so that's an easy way to find me, I think. And also, I have a friend who says, Google me, which always makes me laugh. But there might be some things I've written online if you want to find them. But yeah, I love these continuing conversations just about what we can admit that is true for who we are and perhaps how we were born, but also the things we can reach out and pull towards to us and say, there might be a gift in here that I just have not activated or fed, that then gets to be out in the world. And at any age, you don't have to be 4 talking. No one has to be like 11 saying, what do you want to be when you grow up? We're still growing up.
Yes, absolutely.
And so I'm excited. Like, I'm thinking like some people call themselves hobbyists, right? I'm just going to try something new. I'm going to do bird watching. I'm going to take up African dance or hula, whatever it is. We're growing in that way. And it makes me a better version of myself. I'm more
Mm.
peaceful. I'm more
Mhm.
loving. I have taken good care of Tasneem.
And that's what matters. So
That's
y'all heard her, Google her, or go listen to Truth Be
yeah.
Told. And I
Yes.
invite you, if you're in the South, to check out Mosaic Changemakers.
Absolutely. If
Check
you're
out,
interested in weaving a
yes,
better South, which sounds creative, doesn't it? I
it
think you'd be
does.
creative like
It is
that.
very creative. Like, it is a very creative process,
Mhm.
very creative, life-giving, heart warming and wrenching at times. And so, if you're in the South, if you know someone in the South who's in this dance of justice, who's trying to weave that South to be a better South for creating a better nation and a better world,
Amen.
then check out Mosaic Changemakers. And so I have a question, and I'm not actually sure if we've had this conversation personally, but do you facilitate, like, can people invite you if they're like, she need to come facilitate some art stuff, some artistry stuff?
Absolutely.
Do you
Thank
do
you. Thank
that?
you, Maiysha. I do.
Okay.
I find great joy in it. And the topics are of all kinds, right? Conflict resolution sometimes,
Yes.
but a lot of times it's about how do we build community with ourselves and others?
Yes.
How
Yes.
do we love a whole human while also loving ourselves wholly? Love
Awesome.
that conversation. Anybody
Good.
need facilitation on that? Let's build it.
Yes. And how would they do that? How would they find you to be
Hmm.
able to inquire?
Good point. I'm going to lead them to my Mosaic email because I think it's the easiest to remember. Tasneem@mosaichangemakers.org.
Awesome. We'll
Easy.
make sure we put that in the show notes.
Thank you, dear.
Yes. Thank you so
Thank you,
much,
Mai.
Tasneem, for this conversation. It has just been a
It
joy.
has from
I mean,
start to finish.
from start to finish, and
Yes.
every single time we are together, it is this
Yes.
way.
It
And
is.
so
It's true.
I
It's true.
am grateful that the audience got to bear witness to that,
Mhm.
as well as take the jewels that they're taking.
Thank you, sis. I appreciate you asking. Thank you for having me on. And I love all the work you're doing to get our mind right.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you. It
welcome.
is a joy. So y'all heard her. Y'all go and check out Truth Be Told, the podcast. And if you want to invite Tasneem for facilitation, Tasneem at mosaicchangemakers.org.
That's right.
And we invite you to share this podcast. I say at every episode, share the
Yes,
podcast,
yes, yes.
because
I will.
people, these are conversations that people need to be hearing. And also leave a comment or a review. If you're on YouTube listening, leave a comment. If you're in one of the commercial podcast apps, leave a review, because people need to know the value that's happening in this podcast as they come behind you.
That's
So
right.
with that, thank you for being here.
Thank
And
you.
thank you to the audience, because without the audience, guess what, y'all? There's no podcast.
That's right. Thank you,
So,
listeners.
yes, indeed. And until the next time we see you, stay empowered.